And we are live. Good morning, crypto warriors, and welcome back to the Gemini of Crypto episode 261. Today is Wednesday, October 3rd. Happy Hump Day.
Hump Day.
And I'm King.
And I'm Bitcoin Zay. And we're here to bridge the gap between cryptocurrency and the community Monday through Friday at 10-ish.
10-ish. What's going on?
We are.
Tony Nolly, Crypto Q, Crypto Crackhead, Sergeant Crypto. Crypto Crackhead, is that true? I haven't seen the morning news, but it doesn't surprise me. I mean, Moni Love, what's going on?
Hey, what's going on, Moni
It
Love?
was pretty funny seeing that as one of the first few comments, though.
Hey, man. That's the big news right now.
Hey, it is. I wonder how he feels about crypto. For the free Satoshis, who won yesterday?
Oh, yeah. So our winner for yesterday is Achilles16. Shout out to you for your answer in response to our question. If there was a blockchain or Bitcoin college course, we were talking about the top 10 blockchain colleges. What would the course be about? What would you teach? And they put, great answer where they basically said the birth of Bitcoin, talk about wallets, talk about how FUD affects the market, dinos, of course. I would definitely throw that in there. If I was a professor somewhere, I would have every day would be a new dino, like from way back. Like, right. Remember 2014? He said this. Remember this name. So yeah, thanks for your comment, and we'll be sending those free Satoshis.
Thank you.
Oh yeah.
All right, to hop into it, top story of the day: crypto assets on Winklevoss Gemini exchange are now insured.
Oh yeah,
Shout
out to the twins.
This is what we have been waiting for. This is what's going to bring mass adoption and institutional investments. It looks like crypto exchange Gemini has obtained insurance coverage for the digital assets it holds in custody, announced today. The Gemini Trust Company said in a press release that its insurance will be provided through a consortium of insurers under a system set up by global professional services firm Aon, which already provides a broad range of risk, retirement, and health solutions. Wow, how is this going to work? What's going on with this? This is amazing news.
Well, we've always said in Bitcoin that it's not federally insured. The FDIC does not, have any way to give you your money back if you lose it in Bitcoin. If it's gone, it's gone. However, now we have the ability for you to use a custodial service that actually has insurance. I think BitGo is probably one of the best custodial ones, but they don't have insurance. There's other great custodial. Zappo is a great wallet to have it. Cold storage. Mycelium is another good one. However, I always said insurance is the game changer, because whenever people are talking about investing in cryptocurrency or buying digital assets, usually the two things they talk about is insurance and security. So will my stuff get stolen? And if not, or if it does happen, will I be paid back for it? So if not, most people don't want to take the risk. Now that you have an insurance solution with Gemini, looks like you said, institutional investors will be more excited about putting their money into something, because the risk is pretty much gone at this point. I mean, I've told people for a long time now, if you're buying Bitcoin and you don't secure it, it's no point in buying it. But if you have insurance now, you don't even got to worry about it. You can just buy it, set it, and forget it. So
there you go.
Good to see there. And that's usually what most consumers want. They want the ability. They don't care about how blockchains work. They don't really care, the intricacies of proof of work and how your algorithms. They usually just want to know, if I click this button, if I buy this, does it work? Can you hold it? So now that Gemini's introducing that, it's very exciting times.
Right. I wonder how they're gonna do it as regards to, it's gonna be, hey, like FDIC, we can insure up to 250K, or what I kind of see it being right now is, hey, we can insure up to 10 to 25,000. I think that's fair. Coming from Gemini, they can cover down on that with their customer base and client base.
Oh yeah.
But I mean, anything in this direction is the right direction, so that's a good thing to see.
Yeah, and also people, you got to think, if they're opening an insurance or they have an insurance for these funds, they obviously are waiting for a lot of funds to move into their exchange. People like, this is as clear as day as it gets. I mean, they didn't create insurance so they don't have any crypto to hold. So yeah, definitely good news there.
They're planning on some more money coming in.
A whole lot more.
Shout out to Winklevoss twins.
There you go. Take it in the initiative.
There we go. Next story up. U.S. brokerage firm TD Ameritrade to invest in new crypto exchange.
What up?
Wow. Listen, this is going to be the first of many. Again, let's give it another year max before you hear JP Morgan invest in another exchange, before you hear Bank of America drops all their 100 blockchain patents and just buys an exchange. Wells Fargo, I mean, you were going to see this happen, but retail brokerage firm TD Ameritrade has announced that it is backing new crypto exchange ErisX, according to a press release published on the company's website today. TD Ameritrade currently provides investment services to up to 11 million clients. Did not reveal the details of the deal. However, according to Bloomberg, investing company DRW Holdings and high-speed trader Virtue Financial are also participating with investments. Both agreed to be market makers for ErisX, which might help ensure a deep order book, Bloomberg wrote. Oh, this is pretty good news. TD Ameritrade. I mean, didn't they? And it's funny, they lost. Well, I won't say they lost a couple because I think one of the guys was retired and then one of their senior executives went over to Coinbase. But we kind of saw them. We were like, all right, so, you know, you're losing some of your executive team to Coinbase. Same thing with Facebook. I'm sure they're flip-flopping, going back and forth. Why would they do that? And it looks like they're looking to find that expertise into the industry. I mean,
everybody knows in this industry the easiest way to make a lot of money is to build an exchange. If you have a few million at your disposal, if you have the client base, which they do, they have 11 million people already on board, and then you throw out an exchange. If it's working, if it it has enough liquidity, all those things come into play. And if you have an exchange, you just make money off fees both ways, either whether people are buying or selling. You're making money all day. That's the easiest way to go about it if you already have a million at your disposal. So ErisX will probably be direct competition with Bakkt, which is another NYSE backed venture. So that's one of the things we're starting to see is competition amongst institutional investors or institutional companies who are starting exchanges, because they have to get this money grab for centralized exchanges right now, because they got about a year or two before decentralized exchanges will probably be what everybody uses. But in that 1 or 2 years, they can definitely get some platforms on deck for institutional investors.
And they're seeing that Coinbase, Gemini, and Binance is smacking them around. So they're like, wait, these guys are making billions of dollars in 12 months without us or any type of infrastructure or leadership or what they think as of leadership. But again, it's one of those things where it's a good thing, and it's also one of those disheartening things, because as we said, as this year goes on, the next year, when all these big guys have their exchanges and they tell you that, hey, they've been a proponent of crypto since the beginning. I mean, literally, it is the end of 2018 and they're talking about starting an exchange. You're talking about late to the party. I mean, it's still early, but just late to the party as far as
to crypto people.
These are going to be people. They're going to push their marketing teams out, and as Bitcoin, they said they have 11 million customers. All you want is a small percent of those people to even buy into, which they will. And then we'll have a whole new army of TD Ameritrade did it first. JP Morgan did it first. Goldman Sachs did it first. They were the proponents of Bitcoin and blockchain technology from the beginning. I wonder if exchanges like this, TD Ameritrade, once they buy this or some of these other ones, will they have Bitcoin as their main token on there, as their main trading? You know what I mean? Will everything be pegged to Bitcoin? Or will it be the TD Ameritrade dollar?
TD Ameritrade stablecoin.
Right. So,
but I trust TD Ameritrade's trading engine and the ability to build a platform, because the one they have now is probably the best in the game as far as equities and stocks.
Yeah, it's a good platform. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, definitely. I love their new approach. It's free. TD Ameritrade completely free. But if it's free, they use your data.
I think you still got to have at least 25K in an account to do more than a few trades a month, though.
You can't do more than 3 day trades unless you have a certain amount.
And see, this is the part that scares me, because I'm like, are they going to try to bring that same? This is the institution. This is they work with the regulators. Are they going to come over and say, you know what? As a self-governing body now, we talked about how we got this political lobbying group now in DC from Coinbase, some of these other big exchanges, and everybody's talking about their self-regulation, even though we know that's only coming from like 3 or 4 main groups. So will TD Ameritrade and some of these other groups be a part of that, saying we can self-regulate ourselves, and by doing that, we're going to work with the government and the regulators, and we're going to use the same system we've been using. So if you work with us or use us or any other regulated exchange, and you have more, or you're making more than 3 or 4 trades in a month, then you need to have 25, 50K minimum in your account, and then we go back to exactly how we've been doing things.
Exactly.
So that's my only worry, was where I'm leery with. Hopefully it doesn't happen, but I don't see it not happening.
I would say they,
what I mean?
They don't have a choice.
I don't see it not happening. So it's like, it's good they're in mass adoption, woohoo, but it's also like, all right, what's the back end deal you signed that you didn't let everybody know about? That in 2 years you'll make sure you turn over all this information to the government and X, Y, Z. So, because they're not going to mess up their old business model for this right now.
Not at all.
The Crypto Q said those TD day trade warnings were the worst. Exactly. If you trade on some of these platforms, you know what I'm talking about. And for everybody, 25K isn't easy to just grab your hands on to be able to even trade. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
So
to get it is enough. Just
to get is enough. Then you got to maintain
it.
it.
You got to maintain it. Yeah. Some people don't want to deal with that. So.
Of course, more big news of the day. Coinbase negotiation can value crypto exchange at $8 billion.
Oh yeah. Shout out to us.
Yeah, we called this one. I think we put it at a high end point. We said by the end of this year, beginning of next year, we said it would be about 10 to 14 billion. Mm-hmm. So we're on track for that. Yeah, I think 10 was our original number. Mm-hmm. So we're $2 billion short in October. So they definitely can make that in 3 months at the rate they're going. But San Francisco-based cryptocurrency exchange and wallet service Coinbase is finishing negotiations that will value the company at $8 billion. Technology news site Recode reported October 2nd. Again, we called this earlier this year and last year when we started seeing signs that they wanted to do. It looked to be that they wanted to do an IPO. We said, hey, we think they can do an IPO, get about 10 to 12, maybe 14 billion on the high end. We're already seeing them valuate at $8 billion. So it looks like they're on track to get that 10 to 12 billion dollars.
Oh yeah.
And they made a lot of moves. What's going on with Coinbase?
Oh yeah. Well, one of the best parts about this this deal is that Coinbase, we've discussed how they're the biggest in the industry. But the thing is, they're in talks with Tiger Global, regarding the $500 million investment, which if you've ever heard of Tiger Global, or even if you haven't, some of the companies they have invested in include Stripe, Postmates, Root Insurance, and Roblox.
So winners.
So a lot of winners, Miss Fresh e-commerce, a lot of different companies that they've invested in. So these are smart people. They're not putting $500 million into something that is not going to make money. So I'm pretty sure this valuation is pretty smart to go along with Mike Novogratz saying that Tiger, they're not a flake of an investor. They're definitely smart, savvy guys. So good to see there. As we always say, choose your battles wisely, because in the crypto space, we know the big fight was against. We're not particularly fond of Coinbase. However, from a business standpoint, the fact that you can build a $8 billion company in this industry means it's not a fluke, people.
Right.
This is not going away anytime soon.
Multiple billion-dollar companies.
Yeah, multiple.
You're talking about BitMEX, Coinbase, Binance. These are just exchanges. So.
Exactly. Yeah, you don't build billion-dollar companies in a scam market. So
right, that is true.
Yeah, so it's one of those things that even if you don't like the company per se or like whoever's running it, you got to put your feelings aside and all your emotions and realize. Think the long game. If you're going to be a legitimate industry, you have to have businesses who bring in money. So this is good to see, and I'm pretty sure they'll get a higher valuation by the time it comes around.
And what's crazy is that, they had one typo on here, and they said they're going to try to buy her out for $250 billion. I believe that's $250 million. It's one of those things too. It's still early, and that's the crazy part, which is we talk about TD Ameritrade and some of these big institutions where I'm telling you what their game plan is going to be. As soon as they get a product, their next area of business, their next focus is going to be marketing. Yeah. They are literally just going to pump out and push out a fake narrative, a fake storyline, say how great they are, which is whatever. It's okay. That's business. But remember that, even though we have our issues with Coinbase, as do many people, they were one of the first around that, they're doing it. Same as some, Binance, Gemini. So the proof is in the pudding, as Bitcoins, they say, this really works. It's not a scale market. Yeah. And more institutional players still are in the game. Yeah. I mean, this is crazy. How could you sit by and have literally have the finances, the money, and the resources laying around to actually build one of these exchanges up, $10 million, drop in the bucket for some of these companies to at least see if it works. And that's how diehard they are against Bitcoin, as you said. Yeah. I mean, that's how emotional they are. Jamie Dino Diamond. It's just, it won't work. We don't believe it's a scam. We know he's lying. He bought the dip. Yeah. But
get out of here, Diamond.
This is crazy. Literally, billion-dollar companies popping up within 2 to 3 years of operating. That just does not happen. And we're seeing it happen time and time again. Absolutely. Which goes back to our original thing. You're going to see a world of trillionaires here soon. When you can start billion-dollar companies in 12 months to 36 months, people, you're going to see groups of trillionaires. When I say groups, I'm talking about 3 to 5 people. Oh yeah, $1 trillion net worth, sitting on top of a mountain, whatever, chilling.
Yeah, not taking no regulations.
Right,
At some point, they not. Oh yeah, shout out to Chris Ladd. With all that money, they better step up their customer service. Right. I mean,
that's the funny thing about it.
What we've been saying is, if you value that over $1 billion, there's no reason why you shouldn't have automatic 24-hour. I can start to text somebody. Service, but customer service is always the last thing because you know they got to push back a lot of the inquiries, because a lot of people are new to the space.
Right.
You have thousands of inquiries of people that are just small stuff like how do I send?
What's my public address?
Yeah, like what's my public? Yeah, like exactly. What is Bitcoin Cash? So I understand from that standpoint. However, you know, from a customer service, you know, you want to funnel these questions, you know, pretty evenly so that you can have a good, you know, customer service base. But yeah, they're notorious for that.
Honestly, people, that's $1 billion business right there. The first person, a group of people, or company that gets together, let's say a call center of, you know, a lot of people, Bitcoin and crypto enthusiasts who know a little bit what they're talking about, and say you contract out that out to Coinbase, that is $1 billion business right there. Yeah. They clearly don't want, clearly not even the Coinbase, every exchange does not want to have customer service. It's too much. So be that group of people who say, you know what, you can contract it out to us, do a little 3-month trial run, see how it goes. And answer all those emails and phone calls.
Yeah, honestly, it's not enough people know about crypto right now.
To have
it's literally just not enough people that know what they're talking about. And even the ones that, you know, claim that they do, they don't know Coinbase's business to the T. You know, because you have to know how Coinbase's platform works. You got to know, you know, Coinbase Commerce, Coinbase this, Coinbase Bundle. So you got to be well versed on that. So it'll take time, but yeah, right now it's still. I mean, almost every exchange is pretty bad right now with customer service.
I love the Mr. Smiths they have in this picture holding all the paperwork. It's pretty funny. That's Coinbase in a nutshell.
Oh, yeah.
CEO of blockchain browser Brave urges U.S. Senate to consider European privacy standards.
Oh, yeah.
Brandon Itch, the CEO of decentralized browser Brave, has urged members of the U.S. Senate to consider the General Data Protection Regulation as a regulatory model, according to a statement published October 2nd.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I give it to him. There's nothing wrong with asking. Why does he want to? Right. Why does he want to switch over to this model?
Well, the best part about this model is it actually empowers individuals' control over their storage of personal information. It does give you that difference between, you know, European Union and the U.S. And the Brave browser, if you've used it, one of the biggest things they want to do is block ads. They want to, you know, increase security, allow you to make micropayments within the browser. These are all things that, and being able to opt in for ads or things of that nature. These are all things that if you go forward with it, you can't do it in the regulation we have now. So if you want to be, you know, private, or if you want to have your own browsing data given to you and you can opt in to give it to someone else, that's not available right now for Chrome. It's not available for some of the other Firefox. It's just automatic for them. They have to do it. However, if they adopt this model, it'll be a lot better for the users because you can keep your own data. And if you want to give your data away, you can get paid for it. So that's usually what Brave is going for. And Brandon Eek is a smart guy. He invented JavaScript. He created Firefox. So he realizes the reason for privacy whenever you have a browser, which is why he created Brave. So people are complaining about Google and Facebook. Well, this is why you need people like him to try and get regulations. But like you said before, you can only ask. Who knows how long it would take? Even if they were like, yeah, let's do it, it would probably take 2 years for it to get passed through legislation.
And the crazy part, you're talking about new industries and money that's just left out there in the street. Yeah. This is it. I mean, literally, you're talking Google, the Facebooks, all these free quote-unquote services are selling your data, and they are making a lot of money. I mean, multi-billion-dollar industry and a high billions people. So imagine if everyone had the permissions to their data back and they could sell it themselves.
Exactly.
I mean, at a minimum, I'm thinking you're talking about an extra $500 a month. Every family around the world, an additional $500 a month at a minimum. You're talking about for those big content creators or people who do even more. I mean, it's endless. Yeah. You can get, it's gonna be like how the Instagram model is making 10, 20K on a whatever advertisement. It'll be the same way for your own content. For you've been in 3 car accidents, insurance is bad, credit is bad, or whatever that is. There is a marketing agency that will pay you a couple $1,000s just to see all that data, so they can use it for whatever plans they have to try to advertise and sell and all that. That's big money. So
good to see that. Keep the fight going, Brandon.
Yeah, keep the fight going, Brandon. Shout out to you.
Shout out to you.
Next up, we know some of our viewers are going to love this story. XRP is very clearly decentralized, quotes Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse.
Oh, man.
Woo-wee.
We're very centralized, very decentralized.
Clearly. So it looks like at the recent, was it Swell conference? So yeah, they did have Swell at the same time as Swift again, I believe. But in a recent interview with financial news outlet Cheddar, Garlinghouse, who was speaking on the sidelines of the Ripple-sponsored industry conference Swell in San Francisco, said that he believes XRP is very clearly decentralized. We're going to listen to him talk here. Hold on one moment.
I think in the context of, is XRP centralized or decentralized? It is very clearly decentralized. I as CEO of the company can't control the XRP ledger. I can't change a transaction. The irony of this is, as the XRP ledger has become more decentralized, Bitcoin and Ethereum have become more centralized.
What? He just mentioned a 51% attack when it comes to Bitcoin, which we've never seen before, but okay.
You now have 3 miners in China that can control the Bitcoin blockchain. So when I hear
3 miners in China can control the Bitcoin blockchain.
XRP ledger centralized, I think there's a lot of people out there that are fighting holy wars. They're spreading misinformation. And they're spreading misinformation because they have an economic interest in that.
All right, Brad.
I don't
No, Brad, Ripple's cheaper, so it's economic interest.
The fact is that XRP, anybody can participate in the XRP ecosystem, and if Ripple does something that's not in the best interest of the XRP ecosystem, the rest of the ecosystem can ignore us.
All right, so you can listen to him on Twitter. As one of the first commenters said, they were joking, say you are my favorite source of news about XRP.
Yeah.
This is coming from the CEO basically. So we get it. Everybody wants to talk about the interledger protocol and all that for all the tech side of it. There are many aspects of the protocol that is decentralized. People are not talking about the protocol, but for the token, the XRP token, when it came out, the CEO of the company, Brad Garlinghouse, as well as a few of the other people who work for him, owned 100% of the XRP.
I mean,
right now it's in a what's the account's called? It's like in the escrow account where they release some of it slowly, or so they say, but they also control that account. Which is why when XRP hit its all-time high of $3 and something, this guy became the 5th wealthiest person on the planet.
For like 2 days,
you can't. You become the 5th wealthiest person on the planet for 2 or 3 days, but you tell me it's decentralized. How is that possible? Because when Bitcoin hit an all-time high of 20K, 19K, whatever, at least from USD point of view, because we know in other countries it's been even higher. But when it hit that number, from a Western Europe or Western perspective, there was not one person that said, I am now all of a sudden the wealthiest person in the world, or one of the top 5 or top 10 wealthiest people in the world. That's because it's actually decentralized, because no one at one time owned every single Bitcoin out there. Him and his few folks have owned 100% at Ripple when it first started.
And then distributed it.
And then distributed. And they still slowly distribute because they still own a large portion. So I get it. Is it decentralized? I guess it is. But the owners of this decentralized currency are in the hands of very few, which is why whenever it hits all-time highs and once it will do it again during the next bull run, he'll become again one of the wealthiest people in the world.
Yeah. And I get his definition of what he
right. That's what I'm we're gonna go by his definition. I get it.
He gets. I mean, he's saying it's decentralized. I get why he says that, because as a CEO, I can't change it. Well, that's any blockchain. Those CEO can do it. But the fact that you have a CEO is a centralized company.
It doesn't go any more centralized than that.
That's it. There's no CEO of Bitcoin. There were creators or a creator. However, like we said before, those coins were distributed based on proof of work. And in XRP, we've seen them basically give out a certain amount of XRP to people, give away to, who they give it? Ashton Kutcher, give away to Ellen. That could only kind of be if it's sort of centralized, because you can just grab 1 million tokens and be like, oh, here you go, we can give this to you. So, it's one of those things where people who love Ripple, they love it. But this fight is going to go on forever. There's 1 million XRP bots and trolls everywhere. Nobody's arguing back and forth, but Brad, hey man, like we said, if it gets called a security,
that's what he's fighting against.
That's what he's really trying to go against. If it gets called a security, it's like drop the Decentralization Act. It's centralized. So.
Well, and not only that, it's another thing. We see the same rhetoric, or we saw the same rhetoric coming from who? Roger Ver when he launched Bcash, and he was trying to get everyone to buy Bcash because he, Jahan Wu, Jeff Garslick, who's the other guy? Craig Wright. They own a large portion of that, or they owned a large portion of that, so it's in their incentive or the interest for you to buy it. And the reason why I say this almost mirrors that is because just like Roger Ver, he's trying to tell you why Bitcoin isn't what Bitcoin is. He mentioned that now Bitcoin mining is centralized and that a 51% attack. That's not true, people. It's just there are mining pools that are centralized, but each miner is different nodes. So he said that, and then even here in the article it says Ripple still owns a majority of the cryptocurrency's total supply. In parentheses, says the firm recently, keyword recently, placed its holdings in escrow, which are meted out on a monthly basis. And they did that because they didn't want people like us saying they're centralized. They also claim that irrespective of whether one agrees with Ripple's attestation that it did not create XRP, there is no denying that Ripple and its founders received and owned 100% of the XRP tokens, then also called Ripple credits. See, they renamed it. A lot of people don't even know that. Why would you rename something in the early stages unless you know something's wrong?
Ripple credits.
When the network was launched. So again, people, I get it. If it was a perfect world and they didn't own 100% of the Ripple credits when the network launched, it would more likely be a decentralized currency. But the fact that they launched a quote-unquote decentralized currency where they owned all of the currency makes it centralized, people. Like, I don't understand how this is like a hard thing to understand.
I am baffled.
Right, I am baffled by this. And they didn't mine 100% of this, people, because it doesn't even work like that. So you know what I mean? He said the same thing about Bitcoin and stuff. I'm like, well, yeah, at the end of the day, everyone had a fair chance to mine. Did everybody know about the mining practices and stuff? No, but everyone had a fair chance to do it. So
So to our daily troll, shout out to him who talks about Ripple. I guess you can hold on to Brad's words. It is decentralized, so there you go.
But the protocol is good. And then, hey, at the end of the day, people, we've said it many times before. Looking at the short term, still in the next, I think we said last year was 3 to 5. So right now, about the next 2 to 4 years, Ripple is still a great token to trade. We're not saying don't trade it, none of that. Yeah,
they got the money to pump it.
Thanks, Kasha. Kasha Tariq, you know, he's a big person, big proponent of the interledger protocol, which, you know, XRP runs on everything. And he said that 10 of 900 nodes is decentralized. So there you go, people. 10 of the 900. And he likes the project, you know, or at least the protocol. So thanks for that, Kasha. All right. And again, last but not least, people, we're not telling you not to trade Ripple. Ripple is a good thing to trade. It's very volatile. We saw we could do it at its all-time high. It's back low again. So if you have, you know, some discretionary income, we know they're going to go on another bull run, people. We didn't realize how crazy the bull run would be last year for Ripple or XRP because it just didn't make sense, to be honest.
Super FOMO.
Again, we saw it come from 0.008 cent, less than 1 cent, all the way up to $3.27. So just looking at a lot of TA and FA didn't make sense. But again, FOMO is one hell of a drug, people. So, and last but not least, Bitcoin is still at an early stage. If you hold 0.28 Bitcoin, you're still part of the 1%.
Oh yeah, shout out to the 1%.
Right?
Oh yeah.
So for everyone asks us which coin should we start off with and all that, again, we're not just Bitcoin maximalists. We do think, looking at it from a technical point of view, it is one of the best out there. It continues to work, hasn't been hacked, and all that good stuff. But for everyone who says, where should I start at? That's your number right there. Work on getting that 0.28 Bitcoin. Be a part of that 1%. So right now, what's 0.28? A couple thousand at most?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, you know, it's not 6,500, so say 2,000 at most. So $2,000, get your 0.28, become a part of that 1%, and then go crazy with the rest of the tokens, people. But you know, in this way, if you are a part of that 1% with your 0.28, then no matter what, if it fails, then you lost $2,000 in the long run. But if it continues at the pace it's at, in the next 10 or 20 years, you'll be a 1% holder of Bitcoin.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, listen, you won't need to work again if everything goes as planned. So.
Yeah, and these figures are based off the total population of the world. It's 7.4 billion people. There can only be 0.28 Bitcoin for each person, you know, as if it was distributed evenly. So if you have more than that, you know, you're definitely in the 1%. And everybody can't own one Bitcoin. So that's why we've stated numerous times to do what you can to own at least one Bitcoin by 2020, and you should be straight. I mean, if you own one whole Bitcoin, I'm sure at some point it's going to be denominated in Satoshis at some point. And really, the goal is to get one Satoshi equals $1. If you get to that point, that's when you'll start seeing people who have so much discretionary income, they don't have to listen to the system. And that's when you'll start seeing people talk about taxes. No. You got to come talk to us. Regulations, you got to talk to us. So that's when you start seeing that power change. And, long term, I believe it will happen. But it is good to see that such a small amount can put you in the 1%. People really think you have to have 100 Bitcoins to be considered one of the top people. It's like, no, it's not that many. It's probably that I've predicted probably 1,000 people who have more than double-digit Bitcoins in the world. Right. Then after that,
that's about right.
There's probably about 10,000 people that have double digits, and then after that, people are way less than Bitcoin, like almost across the board. So you're not alone if you have less than that. Some people always try to say, I don't have that much Bitcoin, whatnot. It's like right now you're in a great position. You can own a piece of the future financial system. Don't worry about it. So all my 1%ers out there, if you get 0.28, shout out to you.
Hey, if you don't believe us, ask TD Ameritrade why they're making an exchange, or they're investing in exchange. Why ask Gemini why they want to insure Bitcoin.
Oh yeah.
Jameson Locke, huge was a security as well as developer over at where is it?
He was at BitGo.
He was at BitGo.
Yep.
He tweeted, "There are not enough Bitcoins for everyone with a Coinbase account to own one." Think of that, people.
Yeah.
Everyone who has a Coinbase account right now cannot have one Bitcoin. So for all these people who are onboarding, they just said they added 5 million users in the last 6 months. They now have 25 million on the average of 25,000 users a day. And wow, that's actually really low. They have 25 million users and only an average of 25,000. That's pretty bad. But again, out of those 25 million users, everyone can't have one. And then the story even goes into detail, which we talked about. An estimated 4 to 6 million Bitcoin have already been lost. That's the estimation on it. I say 6 is pretty high. About 4 probably.
There's somebody digging through trash right now trying to find an old hard drive.
4 to 6 billion have been lost. There will only be 21 million by the time it's all said and done in the year with 2140. So we're not going to live to see that, but
we might get some technology
hey,
that makes sure
Bitcoin can buy some good tech, people.
I don't want to live that long, though.
Right?
Year 140, I'll be like, wow, now 170.
Perpetual state of depression.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, exactly.
But no, so there's something to think about, people. Whether you believe in a project or not, $0.28 or 0.28 Bitcoin will have you in the 1% crowd of the world when it comes to the global population.
Yeah. And Devarian Rose, I want to shout out to him. His question: what are the types of truly decentralized cryptos? Proof of work or proof of stack Tangle? Well, first things first. To me, you can't really be decentralized right now unless you have proof of work. Simply because it organically grows the market. So right now, Bitcoin. I've always said, in my opinion, Bitcoin and Monero, probably the 2 most decentralized coins, simply because they were started with the community of people who believed in it, and the distribution of power was random. There was no, okay, you take 1 million coins, you take 1 million coins, you start mining. People just did it because they loved it, they liked it, and then as the network grew, more people caught on, and you have millions of people, or thousands of people, I should say, mining in different places for different reasons. So I say Bitcoin and Monero are the 2 most decentralized. Truly decentralized cryptos. Everything else, I'm sure you could probably point to a pre-mine or a giveaway or ICO or some sort of investors thing that you could do. So it's not as decentralized as people want it to be. So
All right, and last but not least, to answer this question, Minhu Donahue said, why don't we cover coins or tokens? We actually do in our digital assets group.
Yeah.
And when we first started, we look back at our earlier videos, when we had the altcoins we buy, we were covering it as well.
Oh, yeah.
But we kind of slid off of it, doing it publicly because of just a lot of stuff that was coming, with it. When it comes to regulations, we saw on the horizon. And then everyone always wants to blame people when they make bad investment decisions. It just wasn't our interest to continue to do it publicly. But again, we cover it in our digital assets group in our newsletter, and you can feel free to ask us more questions then.
Oh, yeah.
And you know what? It looks like we actually need to do a straight video on Ripple and Bitcoin when it comes to mining and everything. We might need to do a deep dive.
Nah, I'm not deep diving.
You're not deep diving?
I've already done it 3 years ago. Yeah, I've already Ripple hasn't changed. They just got better marketing people. And most of the people here are new, so they think this stuff is new. I've heard the same stuff for 3 years.
I will say this. All I'm gonna say is, look, people, check our receipts. You can't say we right about 98% of things and then wrong about these other ones that you want to believe. We said the same thing about BitConnect. We got the puppets. We said the same thing about Bcash. We got the puppets.
Yeah.
What else? We caught some stuff last year too that a lot of people didn't like us saying it was not the greatest out there.
Yeah.
But.
And plus, most of the coins and tokens, discussion-wise, you can't really leave the speculation arena. So if we talked about them, it'd just be a trading channel.
Yeah.
I mean, most of them, they don't have utility yet. They don't have fundamentals. They have CEOs and board members, so you got to get into that. So it's one of those things where we could discuss it, but everything right now is mostly speculative.
And you know what? Honestly, a good marketing plan can make anybody wrong. Ask EOS.
Yeah.
Again, still not I won't say a working, but I guess they got the product out. But, they just got a product out after having $5 billion in the bank.
Yeah.
Again, we could have said that was a dead project. Not that we did, but we could have said it was a dead project day in, day out. But looking at the marketing and what they're pushing and their partnerships, which were the price pumps at, you would have said we were lying as well. So, I don't know.
Shout out to Lamar talking about Zcoin. That's never coming out. Yeah. If I invent a coin and it comes out, you won't know it. It'll be the anonymous developer. Like, it won't be me.
Doge. All right, for the free Satoshis, what are we doing?
Oh, yeah. So, for the free Satoshis today, we have discussed.
Hey, there we go. Hey, at least there we go, Kosh, to be real. He said 20,000 in XRP is life-changing. Hey, I'm with you. We understand.
Exactly. That's what I said. Hey, all I got to say is, and honestly, for the question of the day, I wanted to go into, Gemini insurance. I kind of leaning toward if we can get some more XRP trolls to explain to us how it's decentralized. Let's do that. Yeah. Tell us how XRP cashed it, get the army together. The guy who leaves the comments with XRP, other people who like Ripple, let us know. I mean, because to me, I've seen the same arguments for 2 or 3 years now. Let us know, how decentralized it is. Why it's better?
Why it's better than Bitcoin? Throw that in there. Why is it decentralized? Why is it better than Bitcoin?
And also name 3 places you can purchase goods with Ripple.
Woo!
So just 3 places.
Bank of America, Wells Fargo, JP Morgan.
Just let us know, because like we said before, I've done my own research. We've discussed it before, but I like to hear from people. You want to keep the conversations open about everything. I want to discuss everything. So
we do. No, seriously, that's a serious thing. So in the comments, it's going to be why XRP is decentralized, why it's better than Bitcoin, and what else you said?
And 3 places retail people can use their Ripple to buy
3
goods.
places retail investors can use to buy it. Put that in your public address. And we're going to end it on this pretty funny comment. Captain James said, when the banks flop, XRP will flop with them.
Hey, man.
You all are fun. But seriously, we do like to have, look, we're objective. Give us those comments, people. Everybody jump in, even if you don't like Ripple or if you do. Jump in, throw your 2 cents in there for the free Satoshis, and that way we have something to actually, do some real research, do some more research on it, and see if somebody's making a great point. We're wrong. We don't mind being wrong, people.
Oh, yeah.
This is about education for us all.
Absolutely.
Other than that, have a happy hump day, people. Thanks for all the comments. We appreciate it. Kashda, Malik, Captain James, everybody. We definitely appreciate all of it. And we will see you all tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.
Cheers. Oh, you're right, Matthew Reynolds. Stellar if you really want to talk about it. Cheers.